So let's move into what else, some other things that you do. I know that you're an activist and you're married. You would consider yourself a feminist, Colleen?
Yeah, a radical feminist,
A
yeah.
radical feminist. And can we discuss what that means? In this day and age right now, we have so many extremes and so many radicalness going on that it almost sometimes can cross over to each other, you know?
Yeah.
Can you just give our audience an understanding of what that means?
Yeah, definitely. So, radical feminism is like second wave feminism. It would be what was known as like women's lib back in the day, back in like the 80s. So think like Andrea Dworkin, Mary Daly, those type of writers who
Okay.
were like Andrea Dworkin was horribly abused by men, but she died married to a man who actually I believe has the rights to her writings now and is getting the royalties from her books. So I don't believe she was a political lesbian in the same way that a lot of the women's lib women were back then.
Mm,
But she was sort of like, she's probably like what inspires most of my feminist values. You know, she's anti-prostitution. She's dead now, but she was anti-prostitution in the sense that she was anti-John. You know what I mean? Like she
yeah,
looked down on women who were prostitutes, I think before. And it wasn't that she looked down on sex workers in any way. It's that she thought that money acted as a form of coercion when it
sure.
came to prostitution. You know what I mean? And
Right.
I think a lot of the time when we're talking about sex work, we're hearing from call girls, we're hearing from strippers, we're hearing from OnlyFans workers. We're not hearing from like a Broadway Junction streetwalker. You know what I mean? So I think that a, a lot of what we're hearing about sex work now comes from the very privileged women who aren't doing full body sex work with men, getting picked up in cars on the side of the street and giving blowjobs to men. You know what I mean? Like it's a
Sure.
very different experience to do that than to just do, cam work or something like that.
Yeah, the I'm sure that the higher end prostitution rings aren't as seedy and don't feel as dirty, especially if you chose to do it. There is no John, there is no. I mean, there's a John, but there is no actual pimp. They have drivers that they pay to protect
Yeah.
them. So
Like in
it's
Nevada, they have that ranch and everything where it
right.
seems very upscale, very like they have a choice, you know what I mean? It's the women who are in poverty and feel like they have no other choice that I'm more concerned about.
Right, right. And I mean, right now it's such an epidemic worldwide, sex trafficking that it, even if there wasn't voluntary prostitution, the problem is still there, and the problem is getting worse because they're wanting to do like what's hardcore sex, like
Yeah.
people who aren't wanting, it's unconsensual.
Well,
It's
that's the thing, like with porn and everything, you never know if the woman is consenting to it or not. You never know if she's trafficked or not. I
right.
mean, I'm sure maybe there's like a way to have ethical porn somehow, but I haven't seen it. You know what I mean? Like, because you don't know if the woman is consenting. You don't know if she has a gun to her head. You don't know if she's been like
That's a good
imported from
point.
another country. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and in places where prostitution has been fully legalized, there isn't there aren't enough women who want to do it to they have to sex traffic women because there aren't enough women in that country who want to fill the demand. You know what I mean?
I
Like
get it.
Germany
I
has
get it.
become a sex trafficking hub because they've completely legalized prostitution and there just aren't enough German women who want to do it. So they're taking women from Eastern Europe, promising them jobs, bringing them in, and then sex trafficking them. You know what I mean?
And really, the people that are the blame are the Johns, right? Because if there wasn't a demand, there wouldn't be a need for a
I'd,
supply.
I'd say so, yeah. The
Yeah.
Johns are the most to blame, the pimps are the most to blame, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I put no blame on the women at all.
Yeah. Yeah. It's